that, and I gotta say that that I think you guys are having a little trouble with the flirting stage. And this is good news, by the way. If you're like, you should be elated at that, because if I can tell you something that's going to improve that, all that means is business is going to get better. So it's really not an insult. It's really just an opportunity to improve here. So what happens when you're flirting? Somebody in the business world, they find out about what you're doing, right? They find out your company's name, All Fantasy Sports, and what do? They type it into Google like anything else. This is where anybody goes when they hear about anything, right? So they type it into Google, and then they go to your website, and here's what happens. They get really frustrated. They get frustrated because what I've seen is this trend through them is that you make it hard for them to do business with you. And let me just show you why. So these I actually grabbed from some of your websites. I just pulled them down as I was going through them. As you can see, try it now, free sign up in seconds, click here to subscribe, new player special, buy now, all these. And I'm not putting this in context, not just to not mention names, but because there was really not much other context with this. And it's just kind of like immediately meeting a girl and asking her out, right? It's just like, whoa, 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 I just met you, right? And there's no kind of finesse to it. And then meanwhile, a site like this is called doubleyourdating.com. Now this is a site, mind you, that sells dating tips, DVDs, books, etc. Okay? That's the business model. This site makes $20 million a year. $20 million a year. They're doing a lot that's very, very right. And it starts in the beginning here. So notice, you can't really see it up here close, but it says sign up for free membership and receive this exclusive report, top 10 most dangerous mistakes men make with women, techniques word-for-word scripts to create lasting attraction. Word-for-word script, you're just on there, and before I even have to do business with them, they're giving me some value, right? And they figured those out by being in constant relationship with their customers, treating them as people and understanding what their needs are. And so immediately, before I have to buy anything, sign up, it's telling me this is what you'll get. Just give us your email address, we'll give you these tips. And so an autoresponder, who here knows what an autoresponder is? Got about half of you there? So what an autoresponder does is automates that relationship. I'm just giving you some examples here so you can have some tools. I'll mention tools throughout this that you can use. Because what this does is automate the relationship where somebody comes in and says that they're interested. They come to the site. Here's the thing that's happening with a lot of your sites, but you don't know it. Nobody knows it. Because they go to the site, they think, hello? There's a wired person right there. All right. So they come here, and you don't know how many people are going to your site and then just leaving. And then forgetting about it until somebody happens to mention it again in conversation. So if you can catch them in this moment, get that email address, now we're suddenly really flirting. Because they're starting to build a relationship there. And you can start to contact them about things. Now, granted, you need permission. Granted, you need to tell them that you won't spam them or give away their address. There's some basic business principles here today. I'm not looking to overskirt those. But then you essentially utilize the Fibonacci sequence. You don't have to know the formula. All you have to know for the Fibonacci sequence, what it means is that it starts off often and then gets more and more separated out. So when they're first interested, you can email them twice or 3 times that week. And if they sign up with an autoresponder technology, if they sign up, you stop bothering them. But then you can talk to them and offer more value or a video or just saying hi the next week, and then maybe the next month, and then maybe 3 months down. The thing is, this is happening automatically. So you're building that relationship automatically. It doesn't require more work on your part. It doesn't require more staff. It doesn't require calling them. But it's this, what I'm saying is I'm calling this flirting stage. They haven't engaged with you yet. Because what we're doing is we're going through these 5 stages of engagement. I'm not just going to go straight to that epic level. We got to really build there by attracting people. So is this making sense so far? Yeah. Cool. So by that point, you really, and I just want to show you one more site, another one that you wouldn't think is really doing well necessarily, restaurantowner.com. Receive free 4 downloads, restaurant business plans. And if I don't do this here immediately, it actually has the pop-up where it allows me to sign up immediately for Facebook and get the business plans. So it's giving me immediate value. Again, another site that's just making millions of dollars right now. And now let's talk about you know, when you have software and it's not so much about content. I think anybody can deliver great content, but let's just say you can't. Let's just say it's a service like Pinterest. Look at this. Request and invite. They're not saying join. They're not saying sign up. They're not saying buy now. When they were really, really building this up, they went with this strategy of, whoa, 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 whoa. You can't just come in. Hold on, hold on. And that kind of what it's actually doing is sending a message of saying, we're taking care of our current customers right now. And when there's space open, we're going to give that to you. It might be a day later, it might be a week later, but whatever that is, it's actually creating this more of a flirting dynamic, right? Wait, hold on, let's just play with this a little bit. So it's requesting an invite to be a part of that. Suddenly it feels special to be a part of Pinterest, and I think most of you know how much Pinterest has completely taken off. So that's flirting. Now we're going into stage 2, dating. Trying it. They're actually trying it out. Here's our guy. He got her number, right? He asked her out, and look, she's pretty freaked out if you can't tell. So if they sign up, does that mean that they use it and they love it? This is the part where you say no. No. See, the thing is, you never want to ask somebody trying out your thing if do you like it? Because imagine you're dating, right? Imagine you're dating and you're like, do you like me? Does that make any sense? Would you, on a first date, would you ever say, do you like me? No. But this is what a lot of companies will do. They'll say, you tried my software. How do you like it? They're not going to be honest with you, by the way. They don't want to break your heart if they don't like it. So what's a more valuable approach than just simply asking if they like you? Ask, how can I help? This is the most vital stage to be of help. Because what you're doing is, this is the time when you're doubling down on your best behavior. Because what are you doing when you're on a date, right? On your date, you're like, I'm going to be on my best behavior. I'm opening up the car door, right? I'm totally there for them. I'm totally polite. All those things that you're doing on a date, this is what's happening when your customer is first engaging with your product or service. You're thinking, how can I be on my best behavior? And the best behavior equals service. And at Zappos, what we did was we actually bet on that as an entire business model. Zappos, when it started, this was the mid-90s, right? When people were hesitant to put down credit cards for books, let alone shoes, trying on shoes. And Zappos didn't have the money to compete with all those big Super Bowl ads. So instead, there was a major bet. And as often happens in business, you do something counterintuitive to pull ahead and set your own rules, right? So the counterintuitive move at that point was kill the marketing spend. Kill the marketing spend. The idea was to invest any remaining money that could be put into marketing into customer service, with the idea being if we create such an amazing experience that people love, they will be the word-of-mouth marketing. And they actually become the marketing department. And that's what happened. It totally started to spread as a result. And it was really through breaking standards within the service industry. Things like, this was back when .coms would not put their phone numbers on the site. Boom, big phone number right there on the site. Remember all those call trees that you still have to deal with certain airlines, right? None of that. Less than a minute answering the phone call. No call limit times, no scripts. The longest call on record at Zappos is 8 hours, 45 minutes. Had nothing to do with the clothes or shoes or anything. But the media value of that story was worth it in and of itself. It just went around for a while, right? But it was through these kind of stories where the reps were really empowered to do anything to make that customer happy. Because what Zappos realized was that the small amount of times where things go wrong, those are the opportunities to win people. Those are the opportunities if you can actually, it's an actual gift. We have this expression called a complaint is a gift, because a complaint is a huge opportunity to turn somebody around, to turn somebody from a complainer into your best advocate, because energy can be leveraged. So if somebody's a big complainer, you just hit gold. You just struck gold, because if you can make them happy, then they are going to be some of your biggest advocates. Granted, if somebody's not a good customer in a lot of ways, sometimes you have to fire them. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about somebody who's an honest, respectful person who was let down by your service in some way. And how do you get them not only to zero, but to the point where they are just loving you and singing your praises? Because what we